Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's action-packed 3 and 9, we are going to be discussing Dune, No Time to Die, and The Last Duel. Let's go. First off, we have Dune, Denis Villeneuve's remake of the sci-fi novel by Frank Herbert. Dune follows a young man belonging to a noble family whose mission is to protect a planet overflowing with a powerful resource as forces threaten to overtake the planet and its people. This is honestly the most succinct summary I could give because this plot is so dense. There are so many characters with various goals and beliefs that it is genuinely hard to capture it all. So I'm just gonna focus on this new movie and what we were given. This film is all about world building. There really isn't too much plot, as there is just lots of getting to know these people, this universe, and the stakes. Does my summary sound a little vague? It's because there are still so many questions I have about this world. I definitely felt like I needed to read the cliff notes to really get it. There was kind of like this haze over my eyes a bit where I didn't fully understand what was taking place. That being said, I did still enjoy myself. The movie is filmed so well. It is shot beautifully. The CGI was lush and imaginative. Like, it really does look amazing. The costumes are to die for, and the performances are really good. This is my third time seeing Timothée Chalamet in something, and I fully understand the hype surrounding him. He is a star, okay? The kid can act. There's a youngish air about him because he is super young, but yet he commands the screen. Jason Momoa and Javier Bardem were also standouts for me as well, even though they had pretty limited screen time. And Rebecca Ferguson gave the best performance, in my opinion. Her character is quietly the greatest thing about Dune, and she has the most layers that we've seen so far. She is brave, she's cunning, and she's righteous, and exactly, I think, what you would need in an action heroine. There is going to be a part 2, and I am utterly interested in seeing what happens next. I do recommend reading the novel or Cliff Notes and then seeing this film so you can fully wrap your head around everything that's happening and what's going to be happening next in part 2. Up next, we have No Time to Die, the latest James Bond movie that marks Daniel Craig's final time embodying the suave spy. The movie picks up from the last Bond movie, Spectre. Christoph Waltz's Blofeld character is imprisoned and Bond is retired and trying to live happily ever after with his girlfriend, the psychiatrist Madeline Swan. But her past comes back to bite her and Bond, and after a predictable, violent, action-packed scene, he flies under the radar, enjoying retirement for a while until he's swayed to help the world once again in defeating a brand new villain. The film brings back most of the regular cast. Ralph Fiennes, Naomi Harris, Ben Whishaw, Jeffrey Wright, and Léa Seydoux are all back, and Rami Malek makes his turn as the new bad guy. This film is really exciting. It's fun in its usually campy way, and it's truly heartbreaking all at the same time. I don't feel like it took itself too seriously. It was still about a human man doing superhuman things with ease and spends his days drinking and being with women. But since it is the end of some sort, it did do a great job of handling Bond with utter sincerity and neatly sent off a brooding, grumpy man that desperately doesn't want to be a spy anymore, but he answers the call when needed. I don't think the film had any real standout moments, however. There weren't any truly outstanding fight sequences or really eye-catching performances outside of Craig, but that's kind of okay to me. It was competently made, and it always felt like it was closing a chapter. It didn't really need to blow me out of my seat. It just needed to tell Bond's story fully, and it did just that. There was an addition made that kind of ups the ante, but beyond that, it was standard Bond fare. It was just really fun. And I must say, I love how Daniel Craig moved in this film. Craig made Bond look and fight like someone who's been at this way too long and knows all the ropes. He's unfazed, he's deeply skilled, he can kill in his sleep, and he's also very hot. I highly recommend this. If you've been a fan of Craig's James Bond, you will truly delight in seeing him put this character away. Last but not least, we have The Last Duel, Ridley Scott's medieval drama starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and Jodie Comer. This film is about Matt Damon and Adam Driver's characters, Sir John de Carouge and Jacques Legree, respectively, who were war buddies, but they're now enemies because Damon's wife, Marguerite, de Caroux, played by Comer, reveals Legree raped her, and the two men must duel to the death to settle the matter. The film is split into three parts: de Caroux' side, Legree's side, and Marguerite's side. Each of the men's point of view gives startling insight into how they perceive their interactions with Marguerite, and Marguerite's side tells the actual real story. Anyone thinking this film is merely about fighting in the olden days, it is so not. It is basically a thesis attempting to give a scathing condemnation of toxic masculinity and rape culture. It's an A+ for effort, but it's definitely a college freshman attempt here to end the patriarchy. They got it, but it's too basic of a breakdown of the concepts for me to truly be wowed and moved by the film's message as a woman watching it. Men can be really boneheaded when it comes to dealing with sexism and rape in a patriarchal society, and how common and mundane violence is for them. Even though the main dilemma in the story is about a rape, the two dudes in the film make it about themselves, which is kind of such a good point to make. But director Ridley Scott undermines that, in my opinion, because he also makes the movie itself about the men. Why is Jodie Comer's character the supporting character in this? The answer can't be because Damon and Affleck are the bigger stars. Was it so more men would come out and see this movie and get their lecture? I'm not sure what the answer is. Furthermore, though I did enjoy most of the writing, there were parts that made me roll my eyes really hard. In one scene, there's some official legal council member that makes the obviously false pronouncement that women cannot get pregnant through rape, and the camera cut to a woman looking away forlornly at the comment. This happens a couple of times in the film. Every time a man would say something absurd and flat out false about women, the camera would quickly cut to a woman rolling her eyes or biting her lips nervously at the numbskulls that she's surrounded by that make her life a living hell. And every time it happened, I'd just be like, okay. It was at this point that I realized that I was not the target audience for this film. I think it's for men who have not done any sort of reading about our culture and how it inflicts harm on women, in which case, cool. But I feel like there needed to be a little more kind of deeper analysis here at all levels. I'm not saying a man can't ever do a topic like this justice. Of course they could, but that is not the case here. And a woman actually did write the screenplay with Damon and Affleck. Her name is Nicole Holofcener. But it still kind of missed the mark. I did watch an interview with the three of them, and they revealed that she wrote all the speaking parts for Jodie Comer's character, which makes sense because her character was fine and there was nothing really problematic with her. But for the men, try again. But beyond that, I actually really did enjoy the movie. The screenplay really is well done. This is the first time Damon and Affleck have written together since Good Will Hunting, and I think the magic is still there. There's a beautiful simplicity to the prose that also keeps the movie on its toes. And the performances are truly wonderful, flat out. I will be shocked if Comer or Driver are not nominated. Comer is contained and she's really heartbreaking on screen. There's a scene where she learns utterly terrifying and devastating news, and the way that she takes it in is truly one of, I think it's the greatest acting moment I've seen this year so far. Furthermore, she's also given the duty of being three slightly different versions of the same woman for each point of view, and she knocks it out of the park. And Adam Driver, whose face was specifically sculpted for the medieval times, brings his smoldering intensity to this film, and he elevates it. He can make a phone book sound suspenseful and intense. He's really great. And also Damon and Affleck are also phenomenal here. Would I recommend this film? I think if you were wanting to see another Damon Affleck matchup, I think you'll like it. It is nothing like Good Will Hunting, but I do think it is a well done movie. But if you're looking for a project that can tackle rape culture adeptly, I would look somewhere else, preferably in the direction of a project solely written and directed by women. And that is the Mondesier critique. I'll see you guys later.